Okay, Bismillah Rahman Rahim and Assalamu alaikum, dear master students of IBA, Masters in Computer Science and Masters in Data Science. Welcome to this information session. Um, the purpose of this session is to inform you of some updates in the policy regarding MS thesis, MS project, and MS research survey. As all of you know that you have to pass through at least one of these three things in order for you to get the degree. So recently, I have been assigned the responsibility of the program coordinator of these two MS programs. I noticed some limitations and I proposed some solutions to Chairperson Dr. Sajad, and we had a detailed discussion, and those suggestions were accepted with some, obviously, some modifications suggested by Dr. Sajad and other people. So the purpose of this session is to inform you of these enhancements in the policy. Okay. So this is the current situation for the two MS programs. So um, we have two types of MS degrees for both of you. One is MS without thesis and the other is MS with thesis. Okay. If you're going for the MS without thesis option, you need to complete at least 27 credit hours of courses. For the MSCS people, that means that you have to take 9 elective courses. That is equivalent to 27 credit hours because each course is of 3 credit hours. And in the computer science program, we have given you 6 tracks, okay, from which you can select the courses. You are supposed to select courses from at least 2 tracks, and in each track you can take a minimum of 2 and a maximum of 4 courses. So that is the formula that is also written on the website, and you need to make sure that it is going in that direction. Okay. For the MS data science people who are from the CS stream, particularly those students who are basically inducted in spring each year. So you have to complete obviously the 3 core courses, that is mathematics for data science, big data analytics, and machine learning part 1. And besides that, you have to take 6 elective courses, so that is becomes equivalent to 27 credit hours. For the people who are inducted in MSDS and are coming from the non-CS background, you have to do one extra semester. So that is, you have to take 3 foundation courses, obviously database, application development, and algorithms. So then you have to do 3 core courses, and then you have to take 6 elective courses. So you have to complete 9 credit hours more. That is, you have to complete 36 credit hours before you can be eligible for the MS without thesis requirement of 27 credit hours. So in your case, you have to complete 36 credit hours. Okay, so that's how the structure has been modeled. So this is pretty clear. In the MS with thesis option, the minimum credit hours required is 24. Okay, so for the MSCS people, that means that obviously you have to take 8 elective courses. So you have to complete 24 credit hours using the same formula that we have mentioned above. For the data science people coming from the CS side, again, 3 core courses, which are essential, plus 5 elective courses. That becomes equivalent to 24 credit hours. And for the people coming from non-CS stream, again, you add 9 credit hours more because you have to take one extra semester. So that is 33 credit hours you have to complete before you can be eligible for the MS with thesis option. Okay. So I think there are no queries here or no questions here. You can ask the queries at the end of the session. That will be much more convenient. Okay. Otherwise, I might not be able to finish because we have many people online. So this is the requirement as far as the credit hours is concerned, which is pretty simple. The current situation is that The masters in computer science students, they typically what they do is in the MS without the thesis option, once they have completed 27 credit hours, so they opt for the MS research survey, which has the code CSC 690. So because in the MS you have to complete 30 credit hours, and the data science students coming from non-CS background have to complete obviously 39 credit hours. That's the requirement. So what the CS students generally do is that they take the MS without thesis option, and the remaining 3 credit hours they opt the MS in MS research survey. Okay, so um, research survey is something that has to be explained to the students, because Dr. Sajad and myself have been monitoring the research surveys in the last several years, and I personally feel that some guidance is required. Anyways, research survey is a 3 credit hour course, and in this research survey, you are expected to conduct an academic research activity, which could also be of an industrial nature. So, for example, if some researcher is working in deep learning, so you might conduct some survey regarding his deep learning research, for example, related to, let's say, recurrent neural networks or text applications, deep learning applications for natural language processing, extract, etc., etc. But the research survey can also be of an industrial nature, because the industry is also interested in research, because if they want to apply some technology, they are obviously interested in finding out the impact of this technology, or they want to find out the best possible application of that technology for their own data sets or for their own business processes. So that could be a high level of research. For example, you can talk about some software like someone wants to implement some module of SAP, okay, and they want you to discover the competitors, they want you to dig deep into the features of that product. So that could become a very good research problem, uh, to discover the particular technology that has to be applied to any industry to improve their business process, etc. There's an also another thing going on these days is moving to the cloud. So moving to the cloud is not an easy decision to make. It involves lots of parameters. So that could also become part of a research survey. Okay. But students are expected to comply with the guidelines of research. Okay. So if you do not know how to do a research activity, then your research survey is not going to be a standard research survey. Okay. And so a research survey is something which you really need to complete in a short amount of time, and there's a lot of work to do. Anyways, um, for the people who are coming from the who belong to data science, the data science students, they complete a project which is called MS project in their MS without thesis option. So MS project is a 3 credit hour course, and in the developed world, it is called a capstone project. Okay, so you can look up the different universities, like top 15 or top 20 universities of America or Australia. So you will see there that in most cases it is called the capstone project. In some universities, it is a 3 credit hour course. In other universities, it is a 6 credit hour course. That means the thesis is implemented. The thesis model is implemented in the capstone. So all the students who are taking data science, they are expected to take the thesis and hence complete the capstone. But there are other universities who are offering it 3 credit hours, like we are doing. Okay. So the MS project is very different from the MS in MS research survey. Okay, because it is an implementation level project, and it is targeted to solve one or more industrial problems, which are obviously mostly related to data science and data analytics, which is obvious. So because you're coming from the data science background, So you are supposed to implement a project. Um, we are it is this way because um, of the fact that uh, the data science is a skill, and a skill can only be acquired through practice, through implementation, through work. It does not make sense for a data science student to do a research survey. There's no research to do. You need to become a data scientist. You need to understand how to do data science, what are the caveats, how to increase the performance, what are the different algorithms, what sort of feedbacks you need to give to improve your results. So there's a lot of things that you need to do. And the capstone is an offering of all the data science programs in the best universities. So you can look these up, because we have already done a very comprehensive survey. Myself, Dr. Saeed Ghani, and one visiting faculty, Dr. Abdul Basit, because Dr. Sajad asked us to do that. So we did this, and we found this out from, we had some other obviously aims in that, but this is one of the results that we found. Okay. So the first policy enhance, I'm going to tell you more about this MS project because it is something which needs to be described very clearly. But before that, I'm going to tell you the first policy enhancement, which is that up to now, the masters in computer science students are not being offered the MS project option. In fact, I think most of you even do not know about it. And the data science students will never be offered MS in research survey. Okay, there's no way that data science students are going to register for MS research survey. It's not allowed. But now what we have done is that we have allowed the computer science students to register for MS project from fall 2021 onwards. Um, because computer science is the mother domain of data science, right? And computer science involves lots of other programming activities which can solve many industrial problems besides data science. Because right now we are more influenced by the hype of data science, but frankly speaking, there are core problems facing the industry which have nothing to do with data science, and which require a solution before a data science or a data analytics platform. And the companies, there are many companies who are facing these problems. I'm going to tell you some problems right now. So when we offer the MS project to CS students, this will allow you to fulfill the scope of our program in a better way as compared to the research survey. And obviously, when you implement a solution, you will be able to enhance your analytical and problem solving skills in a better way as compared to a very boring activity of a research survey, which is going nowhere. Okay. And obviously, this is going to make both the programs homogeneous. And it is, inshallah, we will be able to manage the program in a better way as compared to that. Let's say we talking about some product development. So some industry wants to develop a product, some front end of a database, some sort of some sort of a e-commerce platform, or some sort of an e-commerce infrastructure. Okay, they want to implement a prototype of such a product, which they can use to automate their process. For example, someone wants to implement a chatbot. Nowadays, this robotic process automation is really on the rise, and many companies are also going for mobile applications, but our focus is definitely not implementing a mobile application unless it has to do something with the computing technologies that we are developing or we are teaching you, like software development, or maybe something related to algorithms, or something related to even data analytics for that matter, or maybe NLP for that matter. Then we can say, ki, yeah, this is something that you can take as an MS project. Okay. So the other thing is data governance. Data governance is something which is really, really important these days. Most of you, I guess, are from the industry. So most of you must be knowing about this, that uh, most of the companies are facing a data related problem uh, only because they don't have a governance platform in place. So data governance will allow you to streamline all the activities related to data processing, data collection, data security, data storage, data analytics, data wrangling, data cleaning. So everything is going to be streamlined and will have a rule. Okay. So we need to develop products for that, right? Because this is the need of the moment. And the other major problem which our industry is facing is data quality. It is not machine learning or BI. The major problem they're facing is data quality, because the databases are really not in good shape. There are multiple databases and they're not in good shape. So first you need to bring them into a shape so that you can use it for analytics. So for example, making a data lake is one solution that you can have, but that's an expensive solution. uh, if you go to cloud or you implement your own data lake, it is still an expensive solution. It involves a lot of resources and money. So how to implement data quality workflows? Can you make a software to improve the basic data quality of any company's data? Can we have such a software? So these are the need of the moment that we need to solve, and these have nothing to do with data science. Okay. So um, all these skill sets are acquired by MScs graduates, and if you do the MS project, it is going to be 100% more beneficial for you as compared to the research survey. Okay. Because IBA has to inshallah maintain its name. We cannot ride on IBA's name and not work. Okay. What we have been monitoring is that the research survey is not allowing the students to really sharpen their skills in the market. Okay. So if you are implementing your projects and you are doing the capstone as an implementation project, then you are really feeling confident about doing a master's in computer science, either from IBA or FAST or whatever. So if you don't do an implementation level project, then unfortunately things do not sum up. You need to have a better ending than doing a research survey and just finding your way out of that. So this is the first policy enhancement that we have made, and we encourage all the students to actually go towards the MS projects, particularly those students who are, who have the mindset to register for the research survey. So we have to change that mindset, and you have to do the implementation project. So I'm going to tell you the details of the MS project now, how it is going to roll out, and what are the dynamics of the MS project, so that you can understand it better. So I've already talked to you about this. You are required to make a project or a product or a prototype or a prototype of an infrastructure to solve some problem of the industry. Okay. It could be a problem which some industry is facing currently. For example, you could be working in a company and they could be facing some problem, and you could decide to solve some problem. Okay. So in my machine learning course in last semester, so I asked the students to get the data, and Alhamdulillah, most of the students were able to get the data from their respective industries and maintain their privacy as well, because they were employees of that organization. And most of them were able to solve a problem up to some extent by using the project. Okay. So that gave me proof that this could be done even at the capstone level. Okay. So uh, we have these type of problems like optimizing inventory, reducing customer churn, reducing the delivery bottlenecks, solving data quality issues, implementing chatbots, selecting a strategy for shifting to cloud, etc. So there could be many such problems which the industry is currently facing. And as most of you are, mashallah, professionals, you must be knowing that the industry wants to go towards analytics or data warehousing or data lake or these technologies, but what they want initially is a proof of concept. Okay. No industry, I think, is going to invest immediately in a solution unless they are confident about it. So what they want is a proof of concept. Now my personal idea is that why don't we use this requirement of the industry in our capstone project? And when I thought about this and when I did the research across the different universities, so I found out that this is exactly what is happening in America and other countries as well. that they have a platform for getting the projects from the industry and implementing proof of concepts. Okay, which is very much important in Pakistan, because I have had experience, and a proof of concept of 3 to 5 months is very, very important for all the industries. It makes them comfortable. They don't have to pay anything, and the student gets first hand experience on the data, and you develop the prototype, and it is your luck if you are able to work in a better way. If you are able to generate very good results, then the industry is not going to leave you. They're going to make sure that you develop the product for them. So I don't know what's going to happen at that stage if that happens, but currently I'm only looking at the fact that some industry wants a POC done, and they're willing to give the data for that. We will get the data from IBS platform and will assign you the capstone. Okay, so this is one model that I have in my mind. The other model is obviously that it is not necessary for us to acquire data from the industry. If you know that you have an industrial problem and you want to develop a software for that, for example, you want to develop a chatbot, or you want to develop an application which reduces customer churn. So just get the churn data from Kaggle or some other source, and then develop your product, and then you can pitch it to the industry. That's your product. You can pitch it, your product and your supervisor's project, because obviously you need one research supervisor. Like you have a supervisor in MS research survey, so you need a supervisor in MS project as well. So this is, I think this is really interesting for me. Inshallah, may Allah Ta'ala put barakat in this. But I think this is more aligned with where you guys are coming from, rather than doing a research survey. uh, uh, Particularly the MSCS guys. For the MS data science guys, there is no solution. You have to do this in the MS without thesis option. But if you are taking the MS with thesis option, then you can, obviously your capstone will become the MS thesis. Okay, so that model is also there. Um, so I hope that this is clear up to now. Um, so this is what I've told you, that you can get the project yourself. um, and the ideal scenario is that a company registers with us. Okay, and there is an NDA, etc., because I have written this later on. That's the ideal scenario, that an industry, we are going to develop um this portal on the IBA's official page, inshallah, very soon. That will allow any company to register their POC, that okay, I'm this company, and I'm facing this problem, and I want the academics to do something about that. So we have an NDA template that I have personally used myself 2 times in with Aga Khan Hospital and with Tabba Heart, and we can obviously modify that template again for any industry. And we can also have a data transfer agreement. We also have a template for that. So I will try to speed up this process as soon as possible. But a better way to do this is for you yourself to get the project from your particular industry, because you are already working there, and then develop a problem out of that, because we are not just doing this for the sake of doing the MS project. We have to solve a problem. Okay, if you're not solving any problem, then you're just copying code from online. You can download the data of Kaggle, download some data set from Kaggle. The code is already there, which has been committed by several developers. You can just take the code and you can say, I've done the MS project. That is not what we want. We are there is you can't make shortcuts like this. It's unethical to do something like this. Okay, you have to solve a problem. You can take the data from Kaggle, but you have to solve your own problem. You have to discover what problem you have, what the problem Pakistani industry is facing, and let's try to solve that problem. Okay, so there is I have just written the several guidelines that have come into my head. This portal will be online, inshallah, soon before the semester starts. And I personally don't know the response of the industry, but I'm expecting industry they will, even if we just get 5 to 10 responses, or maybe just 5 responses, so that means potentially we can have 5 projects. Okay, so we can do something about that. But then ideally, you should be talking with your own company, the data is in your control, and that is the best scenario because we don't need to sign any NDA and all those things. They're a hassle to manage, but we have an office for that. And this will, in any case, a portal will allow us to streamline, things in a good way. Because like in my machine learning course, at least I think we had data from at least 20 different industries as far as my knowledge is concerned. But there is no documentation about that. It should be documented, right? So if it is on the portal, then it will be documented in a good way. Okay. Um, this is the template that you guys need to understand. Um, this is just a guideline. It's up to your supervisor to develop the report, but this is a guideline that I have proposed, and our top management has gone through this. But this is a guideline. Please remember that this is not the template. You can take it as a template if you want, but this is a guideline. So you start with an executive summary. In the chapter introduction, uh, you tell us the motivation for doing this work, and then you tell the problem statement that this is the problem that we are facing, and this is the problem that we want to solve. Okay. And then definitely you have to see how the others have solved this problem. You can see online case studies, success stories. You can even include research papers, blogs, annual performance reports, white papers, etc., etc. So how the other people have solved this problem. Okay, what data you have. Because if you don't do this step, then you are probably just reinventing the wheel, or you're doing something which you should not do because you don't know what others are doing. You definitely have people who are better than you. If I am doing some data science problem, solving some data science problem, it's 100% sure that there's a person out there who's better than me. Okay. So I have to see what he's doing. Maybe I can get motivation from his work. So therefore you have to mention this. You can make a table here or whatever, but you have to do this step. And then obviously you develop your methodology. You give us the details of your project, and give us a pipeline. Give us the workflow diagram, that what is the sequence of step that you are going to take to solve this problem. And then obviously you present your results, and then you just conclude it. Present the summary again, benefit of the work for the industry, plans for live testing if applicable. Because if you're doing a project for your industry, but ideally what we want is that the industry should implement it, right? The industry should be able to say, okay, this is an average product, or this is a good product, or this is a very good product. And it's going to be like that, because I'm pretty sure that no one is going to develop a full-fledged project for the industry. But at least the industry should be able to evaluate some prototypes and give you some confidence that, okay, you solved a big problem for the industry. It's up to them to take it forward or not. And it's up to you how you want to take it forward. But the more you work hard, the better it's going to be, inshallah. Okay? So now moving on, this is what I've already told you. You can have many options for the MS project. I've already talked to this about you. Think about your own startup or entrepreneurship, etc., etc. So you can take it from there. You can develop some sort of a small product to solve a big industry problem like inventory management. If you can solve it within 5 months, you are a genius, right? To develop a software to manage inventory, to solve the inventory management problem, to predict the inventory stock, etc., etc. So then if it is successful, then you can have a just perfect it and start selling it on your own. So that will be, it will be IBA's property, obviously, but we will have to contact the office for that how these things roll out. So there is a partnership model, etc., etc. So there are lots of avenues that you can discover and you can walk. Okay. Now we are halfway through. I think more than halfway through. I'm just gonna finish in some time. MS thesis. Both of you know that MS thesis is offered over 2 semesters: thesis 1 and thesis 2, each of 3 credit hours. Obviously, you can do thesis 2 when you have completed MS thesis 1. Okay. Typically, in the MS thesis, you solve a concrete research problem. But I have told the masters in data science people that you also can solve a research problem. For example, if you work with me, then I'm going to be working either on deep learning or big data or something which mixes them up both. Okay, something like that. It's going to be a research problem. But for the case of MS in data science, students will ideally want people to solve an industrial problem if it is possible. If not possible, then it is okay. It's up to your supervisor. If your supervisor has a concrete research problem, then MS in data science people can also do the MS thesis, because maybe one or more of you will be interested in PhD. So it's not necessary for you to solve an industry problem, but it will be better if you do as part of the capstone. Okay, so we have two flavors of the MS thesis. One is solving an industry problem, doing research for that and developing a product, and the other one is obviously the you're just core into very deep into very core research, and you're just doing research as it has nothing to do with our Pakistani industry especially, and you're good to go because then you plan to go to PhD in America or in some other place. Okay, so it really depends on your supervisor how you want to tackle it, but obviously for the MS in data science students, it should have a data science component, ideally speaking, and not necessarily what you have studied in the electives, maybe something else as well. Okay, so in the thesis one, typically you do research. Like I have given you this research rated work here. So in the thesis, you have to do research with respect to very officially with respect to the research papers in the thesis one. So you have different digital sources like IEEE, ACM, Google Scholar, Wiley, Springer, etc., etc. So you develop a methodology to extract the papers, and then find out the relevant papers for your domain. Then you study the papers, you find out the gap, and then you develop a new technology, and then you implement the technology. So that's what you have to do in MS thesis 1 and thesis 2. In thesis 1, you do the research, find out the gaps in the current literature, and in thesis 2, you make a plan to address that gap and make some new technology and implement that. Okay, so I've told you that you can go both ways, either it's a concrete research problem or industry problem. Okay, now the second policy enhancement is that um, the research survey is not going to be offered from fall 2021 onwards as an independent offering of MSCS without thesis. Okay, so for those students who did not know about this and it's their last semester, so maybe we can think of a way that they will be able to register this semester. But even for those students, for example, one of my students has already discussed this with me, her survey, what she's going to do. So maybe we can make an exception for such students who have already singled out a supervisor, and it's been decided that they will be registered for the survey. Okay, but those people who have still not selected a supervisor and their problem is not defined, so you have to move towards the MS project option. That's an important thing that you must realize, because we have done a very comprehensive analysis over the last 2 months regarding what is happening in the other countries, and the master's program generally do not have this option of research survey in place of a thesis or a capstone. I mean, you are studying things like algorithms and text analytics and deep learning and big data and information management and IT management and requirements engineering, and you're ending up with a research survey activity which is not conducted up to the mark. It just does not add up, right? It's not it does not fulfill the scope of our project of our offering in a very good way, and we have to bring up the standards, your standards. Okay, so what we have initially, the research survey was offered as part of MS thesis 1. So in the MS thesis 1, you had to do the research, right? So that was the research survey. So research survey was basically MS thesis 1, and you had to follow that up by MS thesis 2. But over the period of time, what happened was that we had this MS without thesis option. So the students completed 27 credit hours, and then they started to take research survey to basically complete the degree. So that was how things metamorphosed, and that was how it was supposed to happen in any case. But if you want to make an impact with your MS degree, then you have to do a thesis. frankly speaking, or you have to do an MS project. You have to implement things. You can't just do a survey. What's the purpose of doing a survey if the results of the survey are not of any use? Who's going to use those results? You do a survey, you find out something, and then you do something to address that problem, right? That's the purpose of research. Just doing research and then completing that, that's even the research activity is not fully complete. so so what we have done is that third policy enhancement is that if you register for the MS in thesis option, and in the MS thesis 1, your performance is not up to the mark. Okay, so you were not able to do the research for the thesis in a good way because of the fact that you were busy, or you got married, or something else happened. You went somewhere for 3 weeks or 5 weeks. So in that case, your supervisor is going to say that I'm not satisfied with your performance. So in that case, your thesis 1 will be converted to research survey. But the maximum grade that you will get in the research survey option is B, because we cannot give you an A. If you had an A, then you would have an A in MS thesis 1. But if your MS thesis 1 is not up to the mark, then that will be converted to MS in research survey later on when your supervisor says I'm not satisfied. And the maximum grade you can get is B, and the minimum you can get is obviously C minus, which is very bad for your career, for your transcript. Obviously, it means you have done nothing in your MS except take courses, right? If you graduate with a research survey in this model, then it means that you have not really completed your MS. You have just taken the courses. Okay. So this is the model that we have proposed and that we have discussed very thoroughly in the last 1 month and 2 months. And this is what we have now decided as an official policy. Okay. So all of you must definitely keep these things in mind. This session is being recorded. Please listen to this session again. If you have any queries, obviously you can email me, but um, I'm sure that you're going to understand things because you are professional people. Okay. Potential thesis ideas. I've already talked to you about these. You can have image processing these days is a very hot topic. I don't know how much the industry uses that, except if it is a security type of solution or a cyber security solution in which you have to scan images for security purposes. In that case, it was really interesting. Then you have lots of text applications going on. You have social network data. You can do lots and lots with text. And then obviously speech is something which is quite undiscovered territory. So all these three can be done using deep learning. That's a potential thesis idea. So you have to look up the applications of these three categories, and you can also conjure up industrial problems with respect to that, and you can develop your own solutions either in MS project or in thesis. But in thesis, it's if you are doing projects on deep learning, then it is better to do a thesis. Frankly, let me make a frank recommendation to you. Don't go for an MS project. You can do it, but if you want to do something really concretely and in detail, then go for the MS thesis, because 1 year is going to allow you to thoroughly implement a good industrial solution that you can have as your own IP, along with IBA, of course. So that's it has your mark on it, so you can just do something about that later on. And it's also an excellent support for prospective PhD students. So in summary, I'm just finishing, Saad. In summary, we have the MS project being offered for CS graduates now. I have told you the details of the MS project in quite a lot of detail. There is no MS in research survey for computer science students starting from the next semester, unless you have already decided on the supervisor, and the supervisor has given you work already, but you are still not registered for that, but you have already talked about it, right? So in that case, some sort of leeway can be given to you to register for the research survey, but otherwise there is no leeway. There's absolutely no leeway. Okay. If unsatisfactory performance in MS thesis 1, then obviously you are converted to research survey with a maximum B grade. Okay. And we encourage you to do MS thesis to bring yourself at par with the global academic standards. Just 1 second before I start taking questions. I need to share with you one other thing which I completely forgot. Just give me 1 minute. I'll just build you. Right. So okay, this is the policy document that we have already improved. So I have told you most of these things. Now these are the guidelines that I forgot to include. I'm going to take questions in just 2 to 3 minutes, inshallah. Okay. So this is also just a guideline for the MS thesis 1, that you have an abstract, you have an introduction chapter, and you have the research questions, that what are you going to do in your research. Okay. Then you have the background knowledge. You tell about the technologies that are already there, you just define them. Then you have the research methodology, how you found out the papers, how you extracted the papers, how you singled out the papers, what is inside those papers. Okay. From the papers, you discover the gaps, you do the gap analysis, and from the gap analysis, try to develop a solution which you are going to implement in MS thesis 2. Okay. That is a guideline. Again, that is a guideline. That is not a standard template. That is a guideline that you can take in their report. Thesis 2 report, obviously it just sums up everything. You develop your own technology. So you just, in the abstract, you sum up everything in MS thesis 1, and in introduction you define that in more detail, and then you define the problem, and then you define your research questions. They could be the same or they could be different from thesis 1. And then you describe your idea, you describe the experimental methodology, you describe your results, and then you discuss the result, answer the research questions, and then you define your major contribution. So that is the basic format of any academic research exercise. Okay. So I'm finished now, and now I'll stop the share, and now you're free to ask questions. Okay, I will ask the people. Saad, please ask.
Okay, sir. So I wanted to ask regarding the MS project. So if I understood this correctly, we're going to be having companies, submit their requirements, and we're going to be working on those. Is that correct? And secondly, would the project be limited to a single semester, or would this, creep into another semester? Because for a lot of us, the reason we chose research survey was that we wanted to get it done within a single semester. So personally, I'd be okay with an MS project. I'd be, quite frankly, more excited by it, but I would want it to be finished within a single semester.
Yeah, Saad, the MS project is of a single semester. The only difference from the research survey is that we want you to implement something. Regarding the getting the project from the industry, no, that is not a strict requirement. You will not wait for me to give you the project, that some industry will come to the portal and they will register the product. That might happen after 2 to 3 months, but that is not something on which we can rely ourselves. you know just like right now, you go to your supervisor and he offers you a research survey. In the same way, you go to your supervisor and he is now going to give you some implementation level problem which is related to the industry in most cases. Okay. And if it is not related directly to some industry, it could be some general industrial problem that you want to solve. Like I gave you the example that you can develop a application, for example, to solve the problem of customer churn in telecom or in retail, etc. Or you can develop some product to solve the problem of inventory optimization, or to solve the problem of delivery bottlenecks, etc., etc. And you're all of you are almost all of you are working in the industry. Every industry has its business problem. Think about it in that way. You have the data in your hands, you work in that industry, you understand the problems of that industry, right? So think about a solution that you will want to implement to solve that problem. Okay, you can generate the data yourself. We do not care about that. If you have the data, it is good. If you don't have the data, you can download that or you can generate that, provided that it is close to the real data, right? But we want you to
Okay.
solve some problem. So the portal that I talked to you about, that is something that might materialize after 4 to 5 months, because I frankly do not know how the company is going to respond, how much time it is going to take, because we are still developing that pipeline. In the meanwhile, I told you about my example from my own courses, and I'm sure it's the same in other courses as well related to data science, for example, that the student can get the data from the industry and solve a problem. Okay, so like you do a semester project, you do implementation of that, right? So you just bloom it out a bit, and then you convert that to a project which can be done from 3 to 5 months. And obviously your supervisor will ensure that this is the case. So I'm going to have a session with the supervisors as well very soon with the faculty, maybe on Monday, and then you are ready to start your registration for that when the registration starts.
Sir, just a follow-up question. Does this have to be related to the industry? Can this particular solution or app or anything
Look,
be oriented towards?
I have told you that for the masters in data science students, it is better to solve an industrial problem. If you develop a product, because you have to implement something, right? If you develop a product or you implement something, I will assume that's a solution for the industry. So it is best to be geared towards the industry. But if your supervisor gives you a problem which is practical, okay, but you can say that okay, it might not be applicable in Pakistani industry, but maybe it is going to be applicable somewhere in the US. You can also do that, but it must have an industrial flavor to it, because we have to distinguish the MS project from the MS in thesis. Okay, does that answer your question? Okay, I think
Yes.
okay. Umair Ahmed.
Sir, does thesis requires the prior 24 hours, 24 credit hours limit or prior 18 credit hours limit, or can we choose thesis after 15 credit hours?
No, no, no. You need to complete at least 24 credit hours to take the thesis.
Sir, 24
No.
credit hours is
Okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
that,
You can take before. If with the MS thesis one you are taking some other
sir,
course as well, then obviously you can take before 24 credit hours.
sir, but sir, but on website it is written that you have to take 18 credit hours before MS thesis. Can we take before after 15 credit hours?
Yeah. That's that's
Is
that's
it
it's,
possible?
uh, that's a mistake, because when you take MS thesis one, you take some other course with that as well. So it's true. After 18 credit hours, you can take.
So, but after not after 15 credit hours.
Look, if you are completing 18 and register for the thesis to 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 20. Look, um, if you have completed 18 credit hours, then in the next semester you take one course and do an MS thesis one, and in the other after semester after that you take another course and then do MS thesis two. That is going to complete your 30 credit hours. If you are taking after 15 credit hours,
Okay,
then you have to take two courses with MS thesis one and then one course with MS thesis two.
so it's possible. Thank you, sir.
Okay, yeah. Ji, Waqas Ahmed.
Yeah, sir, I actually have two questions. First, मेरा ये है कि how do we go on about selecting a supervisor?
It's the same process that we have for the research survey. You just email to the permanent faculty that is there, and you can also email to the visiting faculty that you want to meet them regarding MS project or MS thesis. So they will give you a time for that, and then you can go and visit their office, and then you can just continue it from there. That's what happens.
I see. Okay, so my next question is, when I joined IBA, I engaged with my professor, Dr. Imran, and I did comprehensive research work. It took me about a year, and I did this in my free time with him. We and this was way more comprehensive than just a research survey. You know, we actually got data from different companies. We used data mining to extract some insights and figure out a solution. And then I presented this in a conference in Turkey, and then got it published in a paper in an international journal. So is this similar to what MS thesis is about? Is this what it is about?
Um, from what you are telling me, it seems that this could be your work right now. It is unofficial. If you want to make it official, if you are sure that this is a research work in which you have done a very comprehensive research survey, and then you use the results of that survey to develop some new type of technology or product or process, and you implemented that with good results, then yes, this is what this is all about.
I see.
Yeah.
And
But yeah, please go on.
and if let's just say, if it's a big if it turns out that this is some like that, I've already done it, and do I have to do it all over again?
Look, your supervisor is the best judge for that, that whether the effort that you have put in is can be converted to that way. You must have the registration in the thesis or the project, whatever your supervisor feels comfortable with, right? So you don't have to
Right.
do it again. I will be frank with you, you don't have to do it again, but you will have to polish it a bit in order to write the thesis reports, and all that logistics that we have to go through.
Oh, I see.
Yeah,
I'll definitely talk with my professor about this more.
yeah, sure. Okay.
Right.
Ji,
Thanks.
Ayman is har.
Right. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam wa rahmatullah.
Okay, so sir, I have these two questions. So पहले तो ये कि this MS project will be completed in 6 months, and this is the alternative you have for MS without thesis ka research survey, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so if we opt for MS with thesis, so we'll do some research work in thesis 1, and is the thesis 2 being changed to MS project?
No. Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Okay.
Look, um, thesis is something which has to do a lot with research, academic research, right? So academic research basically involves reading papers, finding out the limitations in the current papers that you have read on some particular topic, and then trying to find some new solution for that, implementing that, getting the good results, and publishing it in a paper. That's what the thesis is about. The MS project is definitely about solving an industrial problem in the context of a prototype or a proof of concept that the industry typically wants to get implemented in 3 to 5 months. That is my experience, at least in Pakistan. You know, if you are coming from the MS in data science background, and I am an industry, let's say I'm an oil and gas industry, okay, and I am interested in solving a problem about let's say uh, predictive maintenance, right? I have a machine, I have a refinery, I have a machine in my refinery which breaks down, and it's become expensive for me to send the maintenance staff when the machine breaks down. So I want someone to predict in advance when the machine is going to break down. Okay, and that could be done. That's called predictive maintenance. If I get the data, if I get the data for such a problem, then a data scientist will only need 3 to 5 months to develop a prototype for that. That's enough for a data science problem. That's even enough for something like, if you want to develop a chatbot, if you want to develop any data governance type of product, you want to clean the data, you want to develop data quality workflows in Python, even for those type of problems which are not related to data science directly, 3 to 5 months is enough. It has nothing, it might have nothing to do with academic research. I'm not going to look, I'm not going to search papers and see that what people have done to solve data governance problem in the industry. No, I'm going to look at the solutions being offered by Amazon. I'm going to look at the blogs. I'm going to look at what other industries are doing. That's my related work, right? That's not the research papers, definitely. So these two are two different things.
Okay, thank you for the answer. Just one other question. So, I understand what the other universities are doing around the world or something, but when we make it compulsory for MSCS students for doing a project, if they are opting for MS without thesis, so do you think that is it, feasible for everybody to do it? Because, we have MSCS students who are masters or who are, skilled in project management or some business analyst kind of fields. So they are not very handy in development. So would
No,
that be a hurdle for them?
that could be the case for the students coming from the marketing or management side, not for the people who are in masters in computer science, because people who are coming in MSCS, they already have a 4-year undergraduate degree and a lot of programming experience. They are implementing projects in their industry, because I've been teaching masters in computer science to students since the last 11 years, and all of them have a very strong CS background. They can implement things. Okay, and that's what happens in fast. I have been taught in fast for 4 years, 5 years, and they have these, everyone there, almost everyone there does an MS thesis. Almost every student there does an MS thesis. They implement a project, and it's really beneficial for them. Research survey is not the right culmination for an IBA MScs degree program. It is absolutely not the right culmination of your degree. It sums up nothing for you. It you could just, there could be some student who just take a shortcut in the courses. Already the classes are in the evening, and you just pass the courses, do a research survey at the end. I have seen the trends in research survey. I myself supervised lots of research surveys in the last 5 years, and it's very, very difficult to standardize with respect to what should be coming out of IBA or any other university for that matter. Okay, so if you believe that you are busy, or you are not able to devote that much time, so you can have a very simple MS project, not very complicated one, that's going to land you in trouble.
Okay.
Okay, ji Osama Hussain.
जी sir, assalamu alaikum.
Warsam.
So sir, one question is right. So let's say if I started a track in my degree, but somehow because of uncircumstances वो track के जो courses हैं वो दोबारा से offered नहीं हो रहे, right? So would it affect my requirement for the degree, or if for the requirement for the thesis, like is there any kind of some criteria like for the thesis that you have to do at least 2 or 3 courses for the certain number of tracks if you want to do thesis in certain type of area?
um agar would if the courses are not being offered in that track, then obviously you have to shift to some other track, right? So
Yeah,
there's
yeah, but what so what if like what if I wanted to do that kind of track, but because of the like natural uncircumstances, it will be dropped or it will be like not continued in the near future.
hmm.
So like it would affect like my field of interest area or like field of thesis.
Look, some things are natural, right? Maybe we don't have the faculty for that anymore, or maybe the faculty is busy in some other task, so you have to move along with the flow. It's we typically we leave it up to the students to select themselves. So yeah, it might affect your your own vision and your motivation you had, but you have to go along with the flow. You can make a request to the chairperson or to the teacher, okay, please offer this course. And because typically the students do that in IPA when they want to study some course, So if let's say 10 to 15 students are able to convince some teacher, so the chairperson can open the course for that teacher.
Okay, the problem is, right, so let's say one time it offered the particular course, but in the next semester or in the upcoming next semester, the track courses doesn't follow up because the number of the students are less, or so would it affect the requirement of the degree as well or not?
No. That's not going to affect the requirement of the degree. No, you just have to complete the number of courses by keeping
Sure.
that maths in place. That's not going to affect. No.
Sure, but it will only affect my field of interest, or
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
the program that I want to do in my way, right?
Yeah, it's going to affect that definitely. But we are, you sometimes what you have to do is because you have to show your interest, right? Because we are offering too many courses across the tracks. That's one thing that I have in my mind, that I maybe will want to reduce the number of tracks. But sometimes you might need to email to the supervisor, to the chairperson, that we want this course offered, and maybe he's going to arrange that. Okay.
Sure, thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. Mir Salman.
जी, अस्सलाम वालेकुम sir.
Walaikum Assalam.
Okay, sir, I have a couple of questions. I will go through them quickly. Though you have already mentioned, but I just want to have a quick confirmation. So, if I am taking, I am from MSCS background. Okay, so I want to take MS project, uh, and thank you for providing this opportunity. I was
जी मीर, आपकी आवाज कट गई है.
also against this research survey policy. Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. No, please.
So, sir, I want to ask, yeah. So for MS project, is it necessary to complete 27 credit hours before taking it, or we can take MS project and we can continue with one of the course?
Yeah, I think you can take a course along with the research survey as well. You can, yeah.
Okay, so I am interested in MS project actually.
That's good.
So okay. Second, some kind of similar question. So if I am not taking any industrial project, let's say if I am trying to solve any real world problem,
Yeah,
so will it be considered as good as industrial project, right?
yeah, definitely.
And okay, the scope of a project will be defined by my by my supervisor, or I can scope it myself, because considering the time frame of 5 months or 4 months, where I have also a job to handle along. तो इस पूरे सिनेरियो को अगर हम सामने रखें तो I don't think कि someone will have too much time to spend on the project. So
Look,
can we narrow down the
look,
project
it's
scope
the
and
look the motivation for the MS project is that the way you'd spend the time on the research survey, um, that was not acceptable to us, um, because of the way the research survey is modeled. You guys are working in the industry, you're already solving problems either through management or through some sort of training or through some sort of development work. So an MS project is something which you would be interested in, because that's what you're already doing in your industries, right? It's something more practical, something more concrete, something which is more interesting for you, something which has some endpoint in place. A research survey does not have any endpoint in place. I mean, you just dangle it there, you just find out the gaps, and most students are not able to even find those out. It's left dangling in empty air, and you go with a degree. So where is the culmination of the project? Where is the culmination of your MS degree? So
you're right.
even if you're not able to devote that much time, at least you will be able to implement something in your MS project, right? Because
Yes,
it's
yes,
it's
fine, sir.
when you do a survey, you can say, okay यार, मैं आखिरी 2 हफ्ते में बैठ के कर लूंगा, सर्वे ही तो करना है ना, रिपोर्ट लिखनी है. But you can't do that in MS project, right? Even if you're doing, अगर आप कहते हैं कि ठीक है मैं आखिरी 2 हफ्ते में कर लूंगा, ठीक है, लेकिन आप कुछ बना तो रहे हैं ना, किसी चीज की कोई शक्ल तो सामने आ रही है. एटलीस्ट इज समथिंग which could be presented, something which is more concrete. Or those people who are working hard, they will be able to even project them. I encourage all of you to project your work on LinkedIn. only those people will be able to project their work who are actually working hard. So project your work on LinkedIn. It's your career. जहाँ पर आप इतनी certifications पे मेहनत कर रहे हैं, why don't you project your own course projects if you have worked hard on them? कि मैंने ये बनाया, especially MS in data science students. Just project your work on social networks.
Okay, sir.
जी.
Just consider this coming from a developer. So we are not usually good with the documentation. And when it comes to certain requirements, like if you are building any project, you have to go through all the document process. You have to build user guidelines or user guides, blah blah blah. So ये सारी चीजें, will this be a part of MS project, or we can
No,
exclude this thing?
this is part of an official project, right? This is just a prototype. This is
Okay.
between you and your supervisor, and maybe someone from the industry. अगर कोई बंदा industry से project लेके आ रहा है, maybe someone from the industry, but this is just between you and your supervisor. You don't need to have these all guidelines and.
Okay. And you said we have to sign NDA if it's necessary, and we have to take a consent from the industry or the sponsor who is leveraging the project to us. So in that case, is it necessary to take NDA from all the stakeholders? Like
Look,
मेरे पास एक project है.
if you are
Yes,
working
please.
for your own industry, then what's the use of the NDA? There's no need. You don't even show your data to the supervisor because it's आप कहें कि भाई NDA है, मैं नहीं दिखा सकता, बात खत्म. ठीक है, आप उस पे काम करें और या कुछ हद तक एनोनिमाइज करके सुपरवाइजर को दिखा दें, कुछ कॉलम्स दिखा दें, इस तरह दिखा दें. It's not a
Okay.
कोई इतना बड़ा प्रॉब्लम नहीं है. हाँ, if you are working on the data set of some other industry, then you will need to have an NDA.
Okay. And let's say if we build a product, मैं ज़्यादा सवाल इसलिए पूछ रहा हूँ कि because I have my own startup and I am looking to build few of the products, and I think I can share some good ideas and we can create a good product which can be later on marketed by our company. But will this product be a property of IBA?
Look, as it is done being part of the IBA degree, so IBA has a partnership model. उसमें आपका कोई नुकसान नहीं है. You can find this information out from ORIC or some relevant company. वो तो आप guidance ले सकते हैं. Main thing right now is कि if you have your own startup, then it's excellent for you कि as part of this prototype, आप कुछ products develop कर लें, या you can also pitch the ideas to the other students जो कि आपके group members हैं, और आप उनसे भी ideas implement करवा सकते हैं. If something good comes up, then you are free to ensure कि that thing works in the industry. Then उसके बाद फिर आप IBA से बात करें कि भाई इस तरह है. लेकिन IBA will have some part in it because of the fact कि it is being developed as part of IBA's degree program. Ethical नहीं होगा कि आप उसको बिल्कुल अपनी तरफ ले जाएं.
Because why I'm saying this, because I will be investing. I have a team. I have a developers who will be working on those products. तो
हाँ, तो ये फिर हाँ, फिर आप उसका IBA से पहले आप बात कर लें कि क्या मॉडल होगा. Maybe it is not a financial partnership model, maybe it is just a IP sharing model. ठीक है, मुझे इसका frankly I have no idea about that.
Okay,
और ये
and can this be
ये ना समझिएगा कि इसमें पैसों में मेरा हिस्सा है. I have nothing to do with it. My job is just to guide you. Okay.
Okay, answer one last question. So can this be a group project or it has to be an individual
हाँ,
project?
ये एक point मेरा रह गया है. I will discuss this and I will let you know very soon. कि क्या ये MS project 2 बच्चे कर सकते हैं कि नहीं कर सकते. ये point under discussion हुआ था और ये भी आया था कि 2 अगर कर लेंगे तो it will become easily manageable. लेकिन मेरा point ये था कि research survey भी तो सारे individually करते थे ना. तो अभी खैर let's keep it there. I will be back on this point very soon in the next few days इंशाल्लाह. सही है.
Okay, thank you, sir. That's all from my side.
Okay, Yusuf.
Yes, sir. My question is that if we're taking the MS thesis, will we need to take the research methodology course as a core course?
नहीं, not necessarily, क्योंकि आपके supervisor आपको guide कर देंगे. There is no उसकी कोई रिस्ट्रिक्शन नहीं है कि आप वो रिसर्च मेथोडोलॉजी कोर्स लें। हाँ ये है कि अगर आपने प्रोफेशनली पीएचडी की तरफ जाना है तो फिर मेरी आपसे राय ये होगी कि आप रिसर्च मेथोडोलॉजी का कोर्स ले लें। इफ यू आर गोइंग टुवर्ड्स पीएचडी इन द लॉन्ग रन देन यस टेक द आरएम कोर्स, इट विल बी बेटर फॉर यू। बट according to my knowledge there is no restriction. Your supervisor will tell you how to do research.
Okay, sir. So the registration for the MS thesis will start next year or at the end of this year?
I think the registration is supposed to start from the 9th onwards. That's I think what I think. Abhi registration start hogi. First you have the registration for the courses, okay, and after the course registration finishes, then you have the registration for the uh, let's say the MS thesis and research surveys and all that.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Ji Asim Farooq.
Assalamualaikum, sir.
Waalaikum
My question is, I heard that students doing their MS Computer Science with thesis usually face problem when they take their admission in PhD. Some sort of, the objections from HEC side or something like that. So, is it still true? Is it still valid, or HEC has revised their or changed their policy so students generally don't face any issue while?
Look,
Yes, sir.
according to the HEC policy, as far as I remember, they are preferring people who have an MS thesis to be inducted into PhD. इसके बारे में अभी हमारे बात हुई थी IBA में, तो जो इस डॉक्यूमेंट के ऊपर चीज लिखी हुई थी ना, तो according to that, it is preferable that you have done a thesis because they have mentioned this word thesis. So if you have an MS thesis, it is more easy for you to get into a PhD as compared to someone who does not have a thesis.
Yes, sir. So what
सही
you
है?
are saying is you are encouraging to go for thesis if some student has planned to pursue his or her PhD.
Absolutely,
rather than
absolutely.
for the project.
Even if you want to do PhD from abroad, it is absolutely essential that you do an MS in thesis, because like the undergraduate degree is not complete without an FIP. I believe that if you have done an MS degree, it is not complete without a thesis, or in other cases a project. You know, a thesis is better than a project, mind you, but a project is the option which is there because of the way our industry is modeled, that we have a prototype problem, that data science students are there, so for them it will be more convenient. Not everyone has a mindset of a thesis, etc., etc.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, Soha. Soha
जी
Ahmed.
सर, अस्सलाम वालेकुम। जी
वालेकुम
सर।
सलाम।
सर मुझे बस ये पूछना था कि आई थिंक ये बात पहले भी हो चुकी है बट मुझे क्लैरिटी नहीं है इसके ऊपर। सर
इंग्लिश में
अगर
बात हो
अभी
सकती है,
मेरे
सॉरी, इंग्लिश में बात हो
जी
सकती
जी
है
सर।
जी।
Sir, actually, I don't have clarity on this point that if I have 15 credit hours that I've completed by this semester, and by this semester I mean the last semester, and in this upcoming semester I will complete 18 or 21 credit hours. Can I pick up my thesis one along with two courses, even though I don't have 18 credit hours right now? I will have 18 credit hours after this semester.
Look, you can do it, but the general model of how this works is that you do not accompany your thesis with too many courses. At the
Okay.
most, just take one course with MS Thesis 1 and one course with MS Thesis 2. But even we will prefer it that you take no course with MS Thesis 2, because of the fact that in Thesis 2 you have to implement some technology, you have to get the results, you have to document the whole report, you have to lay a foundation for your thesis, right? So
Okay, sir.
yeah, so that's why the what I have seen happening is that people do take up courses with MS Thesis 1, but with MS Thesis 2, they are absolutely free that semester. They just focus on MS Thesis 2.
Okay, sir. So it would be better if I just take coursework this semester and then next semester I take one course in MSc.
Yeah,
Got it.
yeah,
Thank you,
yeah,
sir.
definitely, definitely, definitely. Talal Khan.
So my question was similar to Soha, so it's been answered now.
Okay, okay. Okay, so that's good. So let me tell you that for the thesis, there is going to be an in-house evaluation session. I also forgot to mention that point. There's going to be an in-house evaluation session. I'm going to tell you more details about that. So there's going to be an evaluation after thesis 1 and thesis 2. After thesis 2, there's going to be a more formal evaluation. Thesis 1 evaluation is going to be more or less informal in nature. Okay, but the supervisor, it's up to the supervisor basically. So I'm gonna email you regarding this evaluation. I forgot to tell you about that. Okay. And regarding the MS project, obviously, we also have an evaluation model for that. So I'm going to tell you, because we were discussing recently that the student, we can have a day, we can set a day in which everyone comes and has its own poster presentation regarding the project that he or she has done, and that's going to really give you confidence that you have done something. If you have a poster session, like we have an FIP, for the FIP we have a poster session, so you have a poster session for MS project. So obviously you can make a poster only when you have done something, right? And you're able to show a demo for that. So that's the thing. Okay, just like, okay, Maria Zafar, you're asking, considering the scope, can we do this in group? So I've told you that I'm going to discuss that and get back to you guys on that. Babar Zeb is asking, are there any fixed milestones for overall thesis progress? No, there are no fixed milestones. I have given you the guidelines. I will share them with you again. Let me just write that down. I'm going to email you the guidelines of all the templates I made, and that is the guidance that you have. Your guidance is going to be given by the supervisor. How much time do we have for selecting our supervisors? Look, you have to start emailing them quite earlier on, because like if you want to take thesis 1 from spring 2022, then it's better to do everything in fall 2021, because these things take time. The faculty is not there all the time. Some of them are traveling, some of them are busy, some of them are not willing to take students. So you have it takes time to search. Maybe 1 month, it might take you 1 month, okay, or more than that. MS projects, no, MS project is just one semester, usar. It's not divided like MS thesis. It's just a one semester project, 3 to 5 months, just one semester. There is no division like MS thesis. Okay, so I guess that's what we have. Is there anyone else who wants to ask question? Okay, so it's fine. So I'm gonna be back. I'm gonna email you guys these 3 things, okay? And I'm gonna have a chat with the faculty as well. And inshallah, then you will be able to start registering. Babar Shamsi कह रहे हैं कि I was asking for, हाँ, MS project maybe Babar, it's the same thing, because it might take some time to select the supervisor. But I'm 100% sure that it's going to be more interesting for you, because it's an implementation project, and definitely it will be more interesting for you. Okay. Okay, then thanks a lot everybody for your time, for the late night time. And see you guys soon, inshallah. If you have any queries, kindly email me. But you will read your own path. You don't need to send me emails. Just start thinking about the industrial problems. That's the thing. And I'm going to encourage the faculty to take more thesis students as well. Okay, inshallah ta'ala. Okay, thanks a lot for your time. And inshallah ta'ala, I'll see you soon. Yeah, I will share the recording. I'm going to put this up on my YouTube channel, and I'm going to share with you, inshallah. Okay. Assalamu alaikum.